And that's like the whole dealio. Like, that's why people always say that your thoughts create your reality. Often choose the lack matrix, because the lack matrix is what society tells us to do. Hello! On Mondays with May, we talk about the hard experiences we go through in life. And again, this is not that type of video, let me tell you. We talk about the hard experiences we go through in life and how we move through them and how we work through them. I think I just said that twice. We grab a drink and a smile, if you can see, there's a smiley face. And let's chat for a little bit. It's snowing where I am. That is a snow plow. Holy fucking moly. Honestly, I'm actually not going to show you how much it's snowing. I'm trying to be very intentional with how much you guys see of where I live. I don't want you to know where I live. I don't want you to know what state I live in. I don't want you to see something outside, look it up, and then know exactly where I live. Like, so never mind. Just know that it is snowing really hard. So what do we want to talk about today? I kind of want to talk to you guys today about lack and the lack matrix. If you have never watched Amanda Flaker, I think that's her name. If that's not her name, I'll like put it right here in terms of what her name is. She might have actually put all her videos to private because that's what she said she was going to do recently. But if she hasn't, look her up. She has some great videos on the lack matrix versus abundance matrix. And it was kind of my foundation of thinking around how we as human beings and well, how our world in general, especially in the United States, is structured towards lack and it's not structured towards abundance, you know? And I feel like that's gonna be a lot of what I'm talking about in this video. So if you haven't heard of her, check her out. She's really awesome. Does some really great work. I feel like we as a society are just so structured towards lack. I feel like that's what we just focus on so much. Like, I was talking with my friend yesterday and I was like, how do we feel like we're just so obsessed with death? We're so obsessed with like leaving this earth, not engaging with it, numbing out. You know, we hate going to work. We hate having to put energy into our relationships. We stay in relationships we don't even want to be in. We stay in jobs we don't want to be in. We have animals that we don't want. I'm like pointing towards my animal, but I actually really want my animal. I chose to have her very intentionally. My parents were like, we're giving our animals up because we're moving, and I was like, I want her, because I used to have her when I was in high school. But people just do things to do things, and because they think they're supposed to, or they have beliefs around it, or society tells them to. And then it doesn't make them smile. It doesn't really help them feel good about life. Channel is structured around this idea of how do we heal through pain? How do we hold that shadow self and then also experience the joy afterwards? I feel like it's almost like we're not holding the balance because we're not really there yet because of society. Like, right now we really are just trying to let go of the lack matrix. And I feel like going into the abundance matrix is just so like not part of the discussion a lot. It's like, how do we enjoy life though? You know, how do we let go of those limiting beliefs and actually enjoy what we're doing here? So that's part of the reason why I created this channel in the first place, was because I really wanted to explore how we can become happy after experiencing a continuous trauma. And the first video on my channel is called Suffering with Joy. And Suffering with Joy was all about me talking about my life and then kind of talking about like how I'm dealing with it. And that was kind of the basis for this channel. We so often choose the lack matrix because the lack matrix is what society tells us to do. Our systems are set up to be. And I'm talking about in the United States very specifically. There's a big culture war going on in the United States, politically, us versus them mentality. You know, we need to have the numbers. We need to make sure that people aren't trying to mooch off the system. We need to make sure that my family's protected. We need to make sure that they stay out of this country. You know, there's so much you're the problem, and not so much of like, how can we build a society and a life that is abundant, that accepts, that flows. Right now, the United States does not flow. Can you be real? The United States is so blocked. Like, I think about this all the time. Like, the United States is just so much, it's in trouble, y'all. And I think that's why, like, I incarnated here as a trans person at this moment in time, is because trans people are being attacked right now. And we're just so focused on, like, protect what little things that we have, little rights and freedoms that we have, that we're not even focusing on the big stuff. We're not even focusing on, like, how do I live my life? And we're not focusing on, like, how can this be abundant? It's like the lack matrix, getting those little scraps of happiness, those shadow contracts, getting, you know, going into relationships and things that we don't want to be in, getting ourselves into relationships and dynamics that we don't want to be in. So I think it's like, how do we move? I almost feel like that's the question I want to ask today, is how do we move out of lack into abundance? Like, the ways in which you kind of catch yourself in lack and then go into abundance, right? Because lack, I feel like, is always there, that invitation, and so is abundance. I know some people who I know make a good amount of money right now, and I just hear them say, like, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke. I'm like, how the fuck are you broke? Like, you make at least twice the amount more than me. Like, what are you doing? And I'm not trying to be mean towards them. Like, I'm not trying to devalue their feelings or their experience. Like, maybe they are, at this moment, don't have a lot of money. I think it's just, like, shifting our mindset, right? Okay, so I was at the chiropractor yesterday. Or not yesterday. This was literally 3 days ago. It feels like yesterday, I guess. Like, I was telling my chiropractor, I was like, I'm leaving my fucking job, and I just feel like I can go nowhere. Like, I feel like I can just do nothing. And my chiropractor was like, May, you can go anywhere. Like, I love that feeling of having no responsibilities. Like, I can do anything and go anywhere. And I was like, I love that. Shifting that mindset, because I just kept thinking, oh, where am I gonna go? Because, like, I've been reading just too many money books, and they talk about, like, you know, setting a price for yourself. I'm fixing this camera while talking. This is gonna happen. Kind of said, okay, it's like, you are a badass at making money, and in that book it was like, put a price tag on what you work on and, like, stick to it. And I was like, okay, how do I make this amount of money? Like I can go nowhere with this amount of money. But then I was like, why don't I go after the jobs that, like, you know, they say, like, 3 to 5 years of experience. Well, you know what? Let's just freaking apply anyway, because I'm a competent person. I learn things fast. And if you invest in me, you're gonna get it 2 times over, because I'm a competent worker. And I know that, which is why my price tag is higher. I'm literally like, what the, like, older generation say, that Gen Z were, like, uncompromisable and, like, we want it all. And the thing is that, like, because we deserve it. Like, there is no reason for, like, things to be structured in this lack way, the way that it is. Like, that you're playing by the rules, and we don't want to play by the rules because the rules are dumb. Anyway, yeah, that was pretty much it. It's just kind of like, it's like an example of that mind shift of, like, lack towards abundance. I can go nowhere, or I can go anywhere. Like, I can do anything. So, May, how do we go from lack to abundance? Well, we're gonna talk about it. I feel like that's kind of been the theme of my videos, like, moving from one thing into another. Some ways that I move from lack into abundance is definitely through affirmations. You know, like, that I am worthy. Like, I feel like I'm gonna say affirmations, like, literally every single video, because it's true. Like, listening to those affirmations, like, really helps shift my mindset. In terms of, I think, like, visualization too, I really try to visualize myself, like, in a more abundant place, especially since right now I'm trying to manifest more abundance in a specific way. So I just try to, like, think of myself, like, doing those things and feeling those feelings. And I almost feel like, you know, when I do that, my mind my mindset shifts. And then I'm able to see different opportunities, or think about different ways that I can do the things that I want to do. And that's, like, the whole dealio. Like, that's why people always say that your thoughts create your reality. Like, if we're not even thinking about this in a vibrational way right now, right? Like, even though that's true too, it's like, we're not thinking about this in a vibrational, energy, spiritual sort of way. The thing is that when you shift your mindset, you also just start to see it in the 3D. Like, you're like, oh yeah, I can go anywhere. Oh look, there's this job down the street that I wasn't even thinking about, and they say it's only this amount of money they're gonna offer me. Well, let me go apply, and let me tell them how badass I am, and then raise my fucking price, and then they're gonna pay me. It's like things like that, and things like that can happen. Like, I really held steadfast to this man. I feel like I'm just gonna put up this video after I leave my job, okay? I really held fast to Like, this is how much I'm worth, and now I'm at a place where I am receiving the amount of abundance that I set out to receive, and that's not really typical of someone my age or in the hourly rate. Like, and that's because I knew I was worth it, and I manifested that shit. So like, the more we put ourselves towards that, the universe gives it to us, as well as we just see those opportunities. I was able to think about different ways to achieve this, like different avenues to go towards this, and then it came to me. And yeah, that's like the whole thing. Whole bam shabam is like thinking about these things and acting in a different way and changing our beliefs, and then it comes to us. So affirmations, visualization, I feel like 2.5 in this, so like 2.5 is like I'm feeling those feelings. That might be a 3, but it's kind of just like feeling, because I just feel like in a spiritual sense, like I almost feel when a manifestation is coming towards me, and I feel it like in my heart, out of myself, in me and out of me, and I know that's when like it's trying to come towards me, and I just try to like really invite that in. I'm like, all right, come spirit, let's do it. Sometimes I reject it, and that's okay. Just come back, it'll come back when I'm ready. I think like the third, fourth thing that I want to say is like also accepting the feelings of like when we're at lack, because I feel like what we can do is we can get into that cycle of feeling the negative feelings, feeling the maybe less pleasant feelings, and then we think that we're not manifesting in that moment. It's my belief that the universe compensates, first off. So like, say you like are in depressed feelings all of the time and you're trying to manifest something, and I feel like the universe always tries to compensate. So like, say you're only able to feel good and manifest like once a month, let's say that, like actively like feel yourself in a different state, manifesting whenever you're manifesting, I feel like the universe compensates. So you'll still receive that manifestation even if you're feeling bad for months and weeks and what feels like maybe forever. You keep working towards it, the universe eventually gives it to you, unless like there's some reason that you're not supposed to have it, or the universe, like, you know, there's other things in there obviously, but I think like bare bones, simple, universe tries to give it to you. So, and I think we can also get into that cycle of like hating ourselves or beating ourselves up when we're in that lack cycle. And I think it's just like, I always try to listen to affirmations or just tell myself like, even if I don't believe it, I'm like, okay, I know it's gonna come to me, or I know it's gonna come to me even though I just like can't even think that it's gonna come to me right now. And I want to ask you what you guys can do to shift your mindset or shift yourself from a lack place into abundance place. You know, what do you do when you kind of feel, when you see yourself in negative patterns and negative feelings, and what do you, or just in negative like actions, when you're basically in the lack matrix, when you're working towards lack, what do you do to then move towards abundance? Even if it's just a little shift, because sometimes that's all it is. Sometimes that's all you can do is like a little shift. It's like saying that, okay, I'm open to it, right? It's like saying, I'm okay, I'm open and I can get to that place. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I know that I can. I think I can, maybe. I feel like these videos have been very unstructured and very kind of rambly, and that's not really how I want them to be forever. I'm kind of still getting in the flow of this YouTube thing. I'm in like a big transition period in my life at the moment, in terms of like how my daily life is structured, and it's gonna be changing again soon. So I feel like once I'm able to put, this is really funny, I just did a tarot reading on creative energy. I'm not sure if it'll be out. I think it'll be out before this video's out, but it's really funny because I feel like I love doing this YouTube thing. Alright friends, I hope you really enjoyed this Monday with May. I love you guys so much. It's just very creatively fulfilling for me to do this.